What if I told you you're very close to profitability? Some of you won't believe because you don't see it or feel it. I know exactly how it feels. We came into trading with hopes that it would be what would help us achieve those big goals and dreams we have. But now we're losing money consistently, and deep down, you and I know that if we can just get profitable, the rest is history. But we are stuck and have no clue on how to actually get consistently profitable. Another year is coming to an end, time keeps passing, and we make very little progress. Trust me when I tell you, I'm not here to waste your time. I've seen a lot of videos similar to this one. They only get me inspired for the moment, and when I get on charts, I'll still fuck up. The real question is, can we actually get consistently profitable, or are we going to keep getting broke chasing the trading dream? The video you're watching right now almost didn't get recorded at all, because I thought nobody might watch, and even if they watch, they won't value what I'm saying. So no need to waste my time and make my own version. But then I thought, no, this is something I really want to share. This message really had an impact in my trading. So why would I keep it away from you if I believe it could help you or even change your life? So I've been trying really hard to figure out what it is that actually prevents traders from making progress and becoming profitable long term. And I think I figured it out. The exact things that kept me struggling and unprofitable are the same similar things that are keeping you in that position you hate so much. Now, if you're in a noisy place, I recommend you get an AirPod or headphone. Or at best, pause the video and move to where you can focus. Because I'm about to walk you through the things you need to start doing right now to change your trading game. Now, to get profitable, there are a few key things you need to apply to your trading, which I will be covering very shortly with you. Okay, so first things first, you need to get a repeatable, simple strategy. We're having emphasis, okay, this is blue, on repeatable and simple. Some people just get a strategy, right? But the key first is a repeatable, simple strategy. Now, why is this so? We need to have a repeatable, simple strategy because the very first thing is it helps us with precision in execution. What exactly do I mean when I say precision in execution? So let me explain to you. If let's take for example, if we have, let's say we have this as a bowl or a bucket, and we also have, okay, we also have this as another. Pay close attention to me, please. And then let's use a third color. Let's say green, right? We have this as the third. I just hope this is visible enough. Right now, look. So let's say, so I'm gonna do this. So let's say we have multiple different balls, right? So each dot I'm drawing right there represents a ball. Okay, each dot represents a ball. I should have counted this, but no problems still. So we have multiple balls in here. So let's say this is a win and this is a loss. Please stay very close, pay very close attention and stay with me. Let's say this is a win and this is a loss. Meaning if we pick a blue ball, a green ball, right? If you pick a green ball and place it here, we have won that event, that outcome. This is out of trading, right? And if we pick a green ball and put in a black, we've lost. So we're going to be blindfolded. Now, for us to play this game, what skill do you think we need to play this game? Think. I'll give you some time. What skill do you think you need to play this game? You need no skill other than your ability to move your hands. Now, imagine you now say you want to win the game, and then the way you want to win this game is by having some magical powers. By having some magical powers that you want to use to feel the color, which you can't feel colors, right? You want to use to feel the color so you will lose. You will lose. Why? Because it doesn't even make any sense. Now, we need to be doing the same way, the same thing over and over again, meaning put your hand in this. So you basically put your hand in here, put it either of them and open your eyes and check the outcome, do it over and over again, this thing will iron itself out. That is exactly how your trading strategy should be. It should not be something you think about. So, for example, you say, I think I like what I see here. You hear traders say things like this. Okay, so price just tapped into a resistance zone, and maybe we should have a double bottom at that point or a double top at that point. Then we can now use it to you're just vaguely out of intuition dropping this quote unquote analysis. Now that is the way. That is the way to the village. Now, the next thing is you need a repeatable strategy because it's going to allow you take the same setups over and over again, which is the main point of the illustration I just gave you now. Now, guess what? If you're able to take the same setups over and over again, you're going to have probability in your favor. That's the point. You're going to have probability in your favor. Now the point is why do we need this probability in our favor? It's very simple, because we are playing a numbers game, which is what this is. This is very similar to trading. We are playing a numbers game. How? Now it's let's strip trading profitably or profitability with trading to its core. Now I used to tell my students something, and I used to say that we would be consistently profitable forever. And it sounds like it's a boastful talk, but let me explain something to you. Now there are a few basic things that makes us profitable. First is, now this is almost going to be me revealing what this question marks are, but we'll treat it now. The first is numbers, right? The next is outcome, right? Outcomes. And then the third is risk. And then we have the fourth as strategy. This outcome is very similar to psychology, but I don't want to touch on it so I don't confuse you. Numbers, what do I mean? Out of 10 trades, no, first of all, that's outcome, okay? Numbers meaning we could take 10 trades, we could take 15 trades, we could take 30 trades. If we take 10 trades, we could have 6 losses, 4 wins. I hope this is clear. If we take 15 trades, we could have 7 wins, right? 8 losses. If we take 30 trades, we could have 20 wins, right? And 10 losses. This is your outcome. It's the outcome of the numbers, right? And then the risk basically is stating, if I am losing 1, right, what do I stand to make? Some people might stand to make 1. Some people might be losing 1 to stand to make 3. Some people might be losing 1 to stand to make 4, right? I'm going to explain these things now. And then strategy is, how do I take this? So it's cyclical. How do I place my trade? That's basically it. Strategy is the question, how? Now let me explain everything I just stated here. If we're going to be taking 10 trades in any given time, the outcome of the 10 trades is solely based on what? Probability. The outcome of your 10 trades is solely fixed on probability. And if probability already is in our favor because the system works, if probability is in our favor because the system works, what does that tell us? That if we risk 1 to make anything more than 1, we will be profitable. That is just one side of it. If we risk 1 to make 3, more profitability. But then this thing called risk to reward has a diminishing return, whereby the higher your risk to reward keeps going, over time, the lesser your win rates. So it's always a graph of win rates by what I say, risk to reward, right? It's always a graph of win rates. I hope this is visible, please pardon me too. So your risk to reward ratio always has a directly proportional or inversely proportional brother. Physics people now. I'm not a scholar. So it has an inversely proportional brother called win rate, meaning if in one trade you risk $100 to make $2,000, right? Before you get that trade, it's going to take you more time than the guy who's risking 100 to make 150 or 100 to make 200. Let me come back to the nitty gritty of the repeatable system before we move to the next thing. So let's look at this again. Now, the first thing we need to get profitable is a simple, repeatable strategy. Now, why do we need this simple, repeatable strategy? Because we need to be doing the same thing over and over again. If I come on charts, it is not, oh, I like what I see, oh, I don't like what I see. Whatever my system says or my strategy says, this is what you do. That is what I do. What am I trying to say? Now we come on charts and we see the market printing like this. So basically broken lows, broken lows. Now, if we look at this, our system or our strategy says, okay, this is a what break and retest zone. If price retests this level on the lower time frames like the 15, let's say this is the 1 hour, right? On the lower time frames like the 5 minutes or the 3 minutes, we want to see price do what? Give us an engulfing to the downside. If we have an engulfing, we take our trade, stops above structure. Now, this thing needs to be done at a certain time of the day. I think we're going to talk about this later on. This is a strategy that will be profitable, but not as it is. Now, let's keep going further. We need to be able to take the same setups over and over again, and what this will help us have probability in our favor, right? Probability is going to be on our side. Why do we need probabilities? Why do we need probability? Because we are basically playing a numbers game. The trades and positions you're placing can be counted. And let's quickly move further. The big question comes to, how do I get a repeatable strategy? Now, it's very, very easy. So I'm going to give you a quick analysis right here. So this is you, me, and any trader. And basically, there are two ways we could go. We have two routes, right? We have two routes we could go with getting a simple strategy. But then there's an easy route and there's a difficult route. Now, this easy route, it is actually very easy, but most of the times, we traders, we have ego and we disbelieve in it. So you see what I said here? I said it's very easy, but ego makes people disbelieve it. So because people don't believe in it, I'm not going to be talking about it. It's something I talk about in many of my videos, but we're keeping that aside. So what is the other way? So this other way is you create a repeatable strategy by using what you already know. What you already know. Now, what do I mean? Some of us understand market structure. Some other of us understand support and resistance. Some of us understand Fibonacci. Now, with what you know, use it to create a strategy. How do I mean? What is support and resistance? Basically, in itself, support and resistance is when we have what? Levels. Yes, right? Levels where price is showing rejections off of. So it means that when price hits this level, it has a potential to go to the upside. When it hits this level, it has a potential to go to the downside. Now, if we want to add something else to it, market structure, what are we doing? We're consistently doing what? We're breaking lows consistently. What does that tell you? We have a bearish market structure. We're going to the downside. We've just found our direction and then we'll see where price is going. Now, if we also understand support and resistance, we know that wherever price reversed, price moved up. This is not a strategy. Please don't take this and go and do it. I'll still explain it further. You see that, oh, we have a zone here and this is what we have. Price is approaching that level and we're having a downtrend. We could use our Fibonacci to draw and see if we are in the right places. If price comes on this level, we can sell. This is using what you already know. This is not any proven strategy. It's using the knowledge you know. How do we get this knowledge? How am I saying you know these things? Because if you're watching this video, this is not the first trading video you're watching. And if this is not the first trading video you're watching, you probably watched some strategy videos. You've tested strategies, you've hopped strategies. So of all those strategies you've been jumping, you've been gaining some knowledge of how price moves. Regardless of whether they worked or not, you had an insight on how price goes up or comes down, right? That thing you know, we're going to be putting it into work to get a simple strategy. Now, if you do not know anything, meaning you don't have any idea of these things I said, just go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. You can see some very simple strategies on my channel and whatnot, but go to YouTube. Now, I'm going to be saying this. Backtest to prove profitability. I would explain start to finish. So I'm going to give us 3 random types of traders or strategies that you already know, not even traders. 3 random strategies you and I already know. So we're going to be using a basic ICT strategy and a basic support and resistance or retail strategy. So let's say step 1 of our ICT. So let's have, oh shit, I shifted this thing. God no help me. So let's have our ICT here. Okay, so our ICT strategy says if price sweeps liquidity, right? If price sweeps liquidity, we go to the opposite side. Next is opposite side. So you trade towards the opposite side. Your entry, this is directional, name that a D, right? And then your entry is a market structure shift at a certain time. It's a simple strategy. So it could be market structure shift at 8, market structure shift at 9, whatever time it is. For a support and resistance strategy, which I just gave here, so let's use this one here, right? Now, we can't, these things I'm saying sound very logical. Your ICT price runs London high, right? Or maybe the 15 minutes time frame, we'll have a shift in structure, price comes back to a fair value gap, and we could sell from there. But you can't just go and say it because I'm making it sound very logical. And to you too, if you know ICT, it sounds logical. If you trade support and resistance, maybe you could have some confluences like a trend line, 3 touch, right? This me speaking on these strategies will let you know that I've also been there. I've jumped strategies. I've fucked up on charts too. So you don't have to do the same. Just listen to what I've got to say. Now, this thing sounding logical does not mean that you just take them and go and try them and put your money and that is how you lose money. What you need to do, you need a different color of pen. What you need to do is backtest to prove profitability of any concept. How do you prove the profitability? You basically line out the what's it called now, line out the system. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It has to be in steps. It is mechanical. There's no profitable trader that has a system that is discretionary based off of what I feel. Anybody who you see online that does that does not know how to trade. You don't trade based off of intuition. You trade based off of systems, things that are laid out. When Coca-Cola are producing new drinks every now and then, are they thinking about it over and over again? No, they have a basic recipe, and anybody, even a 5-year-old, can walk in that factory and create that recipe because it is A to Z lined out. You don't come and say, this thing tastes too sugary today, or let's do it this way. No, that is not how it's done. Same thing applies to your trading. The strategy and the system needs to be properly lined out, and as it is lined out, you execute it in its finest self. Now, gaining mastery and building confidence. So what are we talking about here? How do I gain mastery? When we're saying gaining mastery, we're talking about how do I master my strategy in such a way that I no longer make any mistake trading my strategy. Let's trash it out. Hold up. Now, remember the strategy I spoke about before? Let's take that for instance. Let's use the support and resistance. I think that's very relatable. Support and resistance strategy. Let's lay out the steps. Step 1, we look at structure. We look at structure. This is just from my head, please. This is not a full strategy, but even as this thing is, we can turn it to a full-blown strategy. Step 2, we mark zones, right? Step 4, for a second confluence or a third confluence, we do what? I'm going to give you a very quick tip on confluences now. Step 4, we look at trend lines. Step 4, we look at trend lines confirmation. Step 5, engulfing on lower time frames. This is it. Now, important notes, the session It must be one session. So the session should be maybe New York, it could be London, whichever. New York session, right? New York session, and the time could be between what 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time, right? 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern time. This is a trading plan, but is it fully broken down? No. And let's break it down very well. Look at structure. Are we bullish or bearish? For example, we're going to change this marker now. Are we bullish or bearish? For example, we are bearish. Mark zones. What are we close to? We are close to, let me put that as bear. We are close to a resistance level. So we just saw that we are at a resistance level. Trend lines touch confirmation, beautiful, in line. We just look for an engulfing on lower time frame. So let's say all of these were done on the H1. So engulfing, we use the 5 minutes for entries. Engulfing on 5 minutes, check. Also, most importantly, we are in New York session. So do these things fall in between 7 to 10 a.m.? Yes. If engulfing is there, check. We have our entry. We place our trade. Win or loss, we do what? Document. We document. That is exactly what I'm about to talk about right now. So you see how this strategy works? Easy peasy. How do we gain mastery and not blow our money with it? Simple. There's a software tool called FX Replay. Marry that nigga. Marry this nigga. So you're gonna basically have to take price back in time. There are two ways of gaining mastery, which will be the hindsight. In fact, there are three. Hindsight, back test, and forward test. So this comes first, this next, and then 2 and 3 together. So you first do hindsight, step 1. Step 2, you do back test. Step 3, you do back test and forward test. Of all these things, the most important is document it. If you're not documenting this thing, forget about confidence. What brings confidence? Knowledge, exposure. That is what brings confidence. So if you're not documenting, please forget about confidence. Why am I saying you should do all these things? What is hindsight, please? You're meant to be trading at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Let's say this is our trading view chart. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 6, 5, 4, 3. This is time, please. And price 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4K, 5K, 6K. And we'll have our candles, prints like this. You're going to be playing that thing. So let's say you go back to like January 2020. On the Monday of January 2020, you play price all the way to 7 a.m. Now start to play it till 10. Once it's past 10, you go back to look at where should I have taken a trade. So let's say price did this, right? Now, if you look at it, there's a zone here. Was that an engulfing? Check. What was our structure? We broke highs here, broke highs here. There was a zone here. Did it engulf? Yes. We'd have taken our entries for a 1 to 2 up to this level. TP hits. You go and do what? You document. Do same for the next day. Do this for like 1 month or 2 months of data. What's that going to be giving you? It's going to be giving you mastery. You're going to be able to spot your strategy even faster. The next step is what? The back test. So that is where you mimic live trading. So you actually place trades in hindsight. FX Replay has all of those tools. This video is not sponsored by them, but I'm just giving you a free tool which we all use. It's paid now though, but there's also a free version, right? So you mimic live trading. Basically, when you get to 7, right? So when you get to 7, you stop and start playing like you're looking for trades. So you start trying to take trades, and once you're taking those trades, win or loss, document. But very, very important, don't come to step 2 without step 1. You must be in hindsight and gain full-blown mastery before you're coming into the back test. The back test, what's the back test going to do for you, and what's the difference? Hindsight gives you mastery. Back test gives you confidence. What is the confidence? Confidence in I've seen it all. You know when they say Nigerians say see finish, you see the strategy finish. How? You have seen the max losses. In your backtest session, you see where you lose 10 trades in a row. You see where you had 20 wins in a row. You see the highs and the lows of the strategy. So even when you get on a losing streak, you will not be shaken. You know that this has happened in the past. I will get through it. And if you don't document it, you will forget. The faintest pen is better than the sharpest brain. You will have to go and document that thing so you can go over it over and over again when there are times of losing streaks or crisis, right? And the final one is backtest and forward test. You see this stage 3, you do it almost for the end of your career. Your forward testing never ends, but your forward testing will start with demo to real life. Why? Because you're still documenting it. So today is Saturday. I'm recording this video on a Saturday. And right after this video, I'm still going to go back and study charts a bit. I've already done review of the whole week. I've journaled and documented my trades, right? But I will have to go back. Why? Because when you're using an axe to cut a wood, you need to keep sharpening. We need to stay tapped in as much as possible. I've understood my system. I can do without these things. I can say I don't want to do it, but because of I love being in this skill sets. Therefore, my ability to teach you now and pass this knowledge to you is because of how dedicated I am to the grind, right? So your backtesting and forward testing does not end. Although as you advance, it reduces. Maybe once in a month, once every week, or maybe twice in a month. But at the early stage where you're trying to build confidence and get profitable, you need to be backtesting and forward testing at least 1 hour every day. So backtesting 1 hour every day, right? Your forward testing is like coming in real time. So what is forward testing? Forward testing is now the live trading, but demo funds. It's very important so you don't lose unnecessary money. Demo trade, please, for at least 3 months. If you are doing everything here I'm saying on your own, no community, no mentor, you need at least 3 months. Why? In 3 months of demo trading and documenting, you see your accounts go in blues, reds, heavy losing streaks. You come out of it and then you see the account get back in profit. But every strategy that is built under the basis of these things I said, repeatability, will always serve you. And this is the final thing. Learn the mindset of a profitable trader. And what I'll tell you for free is, so long as you remain in the zone, you cannot stop being profitable. The zone is the place of mindset, the place of psychology. If I start teaching psychology right now, you guys will not end this video. This video could last for 24 hours, but I'll just give you a very quick tip. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, you'll learn everything you need to know about mindset and psychology. Because I could stay here and teach you everything I know now about trading psychology, but if it doesn't resonate to you, if it doesn't resonate with your current trading struggles or your current pain points in trading, you won't gain value from it. But the way to go is trading in the zone. Now, in trading in the zone, I came up with this. The zone is that state of mind, the state of mind whereby you're not shaken by wins or losses. That is the mindset of a profitable trader. We understand that we are profitable forever so long as we keep repeating the same system over and over again. Let's use Coca-Cola again as an example. With Coca-Cola would always make drinks, whether or not they sell, they'll keep making drinks over and over again. They're not changing their recipe anytime soon. It's going to be the same taste till the end of time, except if they change their recipe, they are changing for reasonable reasons, and it's not the same thing with us because recipes like that don't even get obsolete. Trading strategies don't get obsolete, they work forever. So long as these strategies are built off of demand and supply, they will work. So you don't need to change anything or tweak anything because of losses. No matter what you do, no matter the strategy you use, no matter the system you use, no matter how you try to tweak things, you cannot stop losing trades. I lose trades. I will lose trades tomorrow and I will continue to lose trades. But what makes me profitable then if I lose trades like this? My profitability lies in the fact that I am playing a numbers game. I have a winning system and my outcomes, when they are profitable, they are at least 2 times the losing ones, 2 times my risk. This is the basis of my profitability. I have a winning strategy that repeats itself every trading day and it's simple for me to execute. I played the numbers game because I take every trade that my system brings to me or brings to the table, right? And every trade I take, my wins are 2 times my losses. So if I lose 5 trades, 5 L's and 5 W's, right? 5 L's is minus 5, and 5 W's is 5 times 2. That's 10. So this is the basis of my profitability. You need to learn trading psychology. Everything I said now will flop to trading psychology. Please get trading in the zone. You don't have to buy it. There are pirated copies everywhere on the internet. Get it and read it. When you're reading it, you understand that so long as you are executing your edge profitably, that's the zone. So long as you keep executing your edge profitably, you will forever remain a profitable trader. If all these sound overwhelming to you, does it mean trading is not for you? Hell no, it just means you're a different breed. How do I mean? Remember the easy route I spoke about earlier that most people disbelieve due to ego? That's probably the route you should be taking. And what is that route exactly? So it's simply getting someone who has gone through all these processes I just explained and has built a profitable system that makes them money consistently. So you then have them show you what they do, and all you need to do is replicate. Now, I've seen this method work for a lot of traders. It basically gets you the results in a fraction of the time. For instance, last month I opened 2 new slots on my mentorship, and the guys who joined were already making progress in weeks. I was so amazed at how efficient the structure I used to run my program is. Believe me, I'm not pitching my mentorship to you. In fact, I don't want you guys to join because I like keeping the community small and super active. That way, I'm able to focus and track the individual growth of every student. That being said, drop any questions you might have in the comments, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one. Peace and love.